previous CEO. And yeah, running 8 villages is up and down, right? And there's a point that my CEO has to go back to his country, and now I'm become the CEO of the 8 villages. Yeah.
Okay, super cool.
Okay, hi. My name is Johannes. I'm CEO and founder from Crowdy. So basically, Crowdy is crowd investing platform for agricultures. But to let you guys know about me, in one sentence, I'm a guy that didn't have any agriculture background at all, but in love in agricultures. That's it.
Okay, super cool. So we all know that, you know, agriculture is pretty complex. So can you describe more about the solution that you guys have and why did you take that angle?
Okay, so yeah.
And one more, and what are the challenges to scale?
Okay, so we decide while we seeing farmers, we decide financial is one of their roots cause in every problems that they have. So we want to try to tackle from the basic needs of the farmers first. So we're looking, there is tons of farmers out there, they don't have any options when they're finding financial options. So they're surrounded by banks, middlemen, and also tons of loan sharks that target them. So we see that also Indonesia have very culture that like there's mutual cooperations out there. So what we only do is digitalize what cultures Indonesia have. So we do patungan in Indonesia and digitalize it in the next levels with Crowdy, with technology that we can. The most challenges that we have is actually the farmers that we want to help. It's not easy to reach, and to make sure that they know they got help is also another issue. So yeah, that's I think the challenge to scale for us.
For 8 villages, we start since 2012. So we have right now we have 3 platforms published. One is the community platform. For agriculture, we have Lisa. One of the product is Petani, and we have other community for like e-fish with e-fishery community. That's one platform. The second one is data collection. That's the app. That's the platform to collect data. So we help farmers for information, and also we can get information from farmers. With that data hub, we get information from farmers that don't have any connection with technology at all. So we're the one who partnering with government and clients who want to get more information for farmers. They're using our platform to do that. And the third one is commerce. Maybe you've heard lately for the past a year from now, we have a platform called Rego Pantes. That's a way for us to help farmers to sell directly to the end consumer. And for the challenge, yeah, the education part, which is on introducing technology to farmers. That's up until now, that's the biggest challenge. But they're willing to learn. So we just need to be patient to introduce the platform slowly. But when they receive the value, then they become more aggressive to get more information through the app.
Do these farmers have the technology to do it?
Yeah, that's our technology that they're being used. So they just download it, and we help them connect to the expert in the field, and from there they can ask whatever they want, including the new technology that they want to adopt.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I think for e-fishery case, the origination of fishery quite straightforward. When I was a fish farmer, that the biggest challenge is the appetite and so on. So that's the idea. But the main reason why we're choosing this angle, basically, first we believe that the fish is the future. Fish is the next chicken, so what we call it, because in order to produce 1 kilograms of animal protein, we need a lot of feed and a lot of water and a lot of land. And for example, to produce 1 kilogram of cow beef, we need 30 kilogram of feed, which is soy meal, corn meal and stuff. And also we need a lot of water and a lot of lands. And that's why it's not sustainable, first. And the second one is, if we have, then we need to compete for the same scarce resources, which is land, water, and feed, with human. But fish is not that case. Fish lives in the water, which we don't really live in that area. Fish needs less water because they live in the water, and fish needs less feed as well. We only need 2 or 3 kilograms of feed to produce 1 kilogram of fish. So naturally, this is the future. When the resources is scarce, people and the policy will be pushed to eat more fish, and that's what we're seeing. Fish, and especially in aquaculture, is the fastest growing food sector in the world. And in Indonesia, interestingly, we eat more fish than all of the countries we eat on percentage more fish than all of other countries in Asia Pacific.
Japan?
No, Japan per capita is higher,
Okay.
but Japan is only 40% of the total animal protein that they consume.
Okay.
Indonesia, the per capita is lower, but we eat 60% of the total animal protein that we consume per capita. So I think it's part of the culture, and in Indonesia we have 3.5 million of fish farmers, almost 30 to 50 million of fish farms. I think this is the technology that we have the market, we have the future potential of the market itself, and the farmers is typically can afford more on technology rather than farmers in the horticulture. So,
And
yeah.
what are the current challenges to scale?
I think a lot of things. I mean, if you see that, then we're hardware companies.
Yeah.
So we produce hardware, then needs to build the supply chain and all of the things. And the second, our hardware runs in the outdoor, so
Yeah.
near the farms, which means we have the hardware that needs to be reliable. And third, we sell the hardware to the farmers that never used any technology before. So the challenges is a lot in the operation level, in the product development level, in the supply chain management and the manufacturing level, as well as in how to acquire the customers, the farmers, to use the technology, and how to actually onboard and for them to get the value of using this technology. So different kind of challenge in different stages, but it's a lot.
Okay, so a lot of challenges. Challenges basically include it's hardware. It's hard to basically reach these farmers, whether it be shrimp farmers or other farmers. So actually, that begs the next question. You guys have been here for a very long time, 2012, 2015, and even before, right? So why are you guys still here? What? It's a difficult sector that I know because I also work in an agriculture sector. But so what drives you? What keeps you going, working night and day in this very difficult sector for a very long time?
Yeah, I think as I was saying to Sunny, we don't have much option in our life, so I think this is the only option that we can have. So we're not that lucky. No,
That's not true.
Just kidding. But I think we're here because this is hard, and I think we are. I don't know. In the startup ecosystem, we are designing the mindset is designed to go for something that can move fast and you can break things, but then you expect to get some financial return in the short amount of time, and then expect to scale that. And that's why a lot of founders, when they have the idea, they have this kind of mindset. Then what can I scale in the 5 years? What can I build in the 5 years, then sell it to the other companies? And naturally, the agriculture are not that kind of sector that is in that category. And that's one thing. The second, and because of that, we see that these kind of problems, if people have this similar mindset, then these kind of problems will keep happen. And this is huge problems. I mean, if we're, and all of the startup founders building the cute apps that people want use to have a cute selfie, then who's going to solve the biggest challenge is our mankind, which is hunger and the food sector is one of the biggest challenges of mankind. I mean, I think I can say to myself personally that we're here because it's challenging. We're here because it's hard, and we want to prove that if we can solve this hard challenge, then we can build the sustainable businesses, and we can also show that you can do good and do well at the same time, and giving an impacts and solving the real problems, not really problems that you put on the pitch deck.
So only until that has all been achieved, then we can make cute app filters for like shrimps and like animals. There are
Probably, right?
There are already filters now for cats and dogs. Okay, thank you. What about you, Mas
Same
Sunny?
like Gibran. Yeah, the impact that we bring to the community. So like how our application or our service can give a direct impact directly to our user just by, for example, just by answering a simple question that they ask through the platform, and we give them the answer. Not we, but our community of experts help them to answer through the platform, and it changes or it helps increase 20 or 30% of their yield. It means that it helps increase his revenue. It helps them to help their children to go to school, something like that. So that's what makes me become more falling in love with this kind of industry.
Okay. What do farmers usually ask on the platform?
Initially, it's very simple question, like how to handle pests, how to prepare land. But now they asking for more. They asking like, what is the best price in the area, or where is the best market that they can go, because in their where they live the price is not that good anymore, and they looking for a better price outside, something like that. And now they become more advanced. The question is more about something that I really don't understand about the composition of their organic fertilizer that they want to use for certain crops, something like that.
Okay, cool. Thank you. What about you, Johannes?
Okay, maybe just adding what Gibran already said. One of the reasons that we say is like patient about the agriculture industry, but the second one is like the agriculture industry problems like already happened like long time ago, and nobody actually care about it. People, the most talented people just going to financial industry, going to banks, and so on and so on. But this industry that actually be the backbone of our country, there's nobody care. And there is no bright people out there that actually want to disrupt this industry. So Crowdy's missions actually revolutionize the whole industries and make those industry bright again for new people to actually disrupt. So because agriculture is a basic needs for us, right? We need foods every day. But do you even know that farmers keep decreasing every years? They changing job to cities, and they changing job to being drivers and so on. But nobody cares. But that's why we want to make farmers, being farmers, produce food for us and make their life better. Yeah, maybe.
Super cool. So throughout the journey of making the lives of these farmers better, can you please share what has been the biggest surprise learning? I mean, everyone always have imaginations of what will be the difficulties, what will be the easy parts, but there's always that curveballs in life. So what has been your biggest surprise learning?
Doing good is not enough. So by
Sorry, what is not enough?
doing good. So we initially we start with our idealism that we want to help farmers, just help farmers to increase their productivity and so on. But yeah, but when we're running this as a startup, yeah, it means a business. It's not just a product, or it's not just the impact, but it also has to be sustainable in the future. So it means it needs to have a business in it. And we kinda realize that we're not realize that in how do you say it, in a short time. We learned that quite long, and we spent quite a lot of money on that. And at that time, yeah, that's the biggest surprise, that maybe our time almost ended, and that's we long time ago. That is why my CEO has to go back on that one. That's the biggest surprise, yeah. And yeah, then we do a pivot and do a lot of trial, and yeah, we still here.
Cool. Thank you. So doing good is not enough. There needs to be business in it. I agree with that. What about you, Johannes?
Yeah, I think when I saw the problem of farmers' finance, we tried to just throwing money at problems, and it's not solve anything. So the biggest curveball is like we must make sure there's not every farmers that we can help. We must know which farmers that ready to be helped, and prepare them to actually prepare them to get help. So we're not just want to be help them, but we make sure that they're ready to get help. So that's one of the biggest curveball that I see.
How do you get them ready to be helped?
Yeah, so there is tons of mindset out there as farmers. The farmers are very pragmatic persons. So if we ask why do you be a farmers, the answer will be like, because my father's farmers and my grandfather's farmers. The farmers will never be a choice of career, or never be a choice of opportunity that you want to explore. So when we change those mindset, they're starting to see, oh, being a farmer is good. So what next for me? If we stay in the city like us, we never realize that they have really different life between farmers and us. When knowing them better, we can giving more solutions and make them realize, are you need to be helped, or you're already capable enough?
Okay,
Right.
thank you. What
Yeah, I
about you,
think
Mr.
for me it was quite surprising to find that. I mean, in a startups world and in the corporate worlds, we thought that all of the strategy, the campaign, and go-to-market strategy has to be run by the numbers, and it's all mechanical. So, I mean, you run A/B testing and see whether it's reducing your CAC, or increasing your LTV, and some other kind of metrics that you can see. And that's what we thought when we started selling these services to the farmers. We have some kind of strategy and see the numbers and how the numbers can keeping up. But then we realized at some point we realized that it doesn't work. It didn't work very well. And then after that, I decided to go on the field to myself and just basically selling it by myself. And then for the first 10 farmers that use e-fishery, I asked them why they want to use e-fishery. And I was expecting the answer to be like, e-fishery is good, it's increasing our profit by these numbers, and give us the benefit by these numbers, and so on. But they didn't say that. I mean, none of them say that they use it because using e-fishery or this kind of technology is they can get some economic benefit. What they said is because Gibran keeps coming. I mean, because I know Gibran, and I think he keeps coming, and then he always, I mean, he's a nice guy, and kasihan sama Gibran. So those kind of answers is like, okay, this is interesting. And then I also run a research when I met one farmers that use 7 brand of feed, and I asked, why do you use 7 brand of feed? Because I know the salesperson. I mean, not because they want to run a research, they want to run the testing, not because they see the comparative benefits among all of the brands. It's because they have the personal relationship with the salesperson. I think that's how different people in the rural area to make a decision. So all of the consumer behavior is also totally different what we know and what we thought about it. And then that's how we then establish our sales strategy and sales process by building the personal relationship with the farmers first, or hijacking the personal relationship that already owned by the feed salesperson, let's say. Then we can have, they can see the benefit of using the technology after we are establishing the personal relationship. So it's a longer process, but I think that's how it is also more sustainable.
So basically, it's the learning that in the end these people are people, human beings that are not rational. I mean, sometimes I'm not rational. I mean, you can't expect other people to be rational as well. So it's not just number-based, but also more of the relationship with the human. That's very interesting. Thank you. So next would be, if you can imagine a future, right? A future, what would be your wildest dreams to achieve? Like, what is like the dream?
In my case, I want to have, I want my service to be used by the farmer starting from their wake up until they sleep again in the whole day.
Sorry, you want what?
I want my service to be used by the farmers starting from their wake up until they sleep again. So being part on their life, like our life in technology, but this one is on the farmer's version.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the ultimate one.
Okay. What if they get too addicted?
Well, it's productive, right? Addicted in the productive way. It's not a consumptive way, because to consume more information about their productivity, to consume information about the price, to be able to sell in the daily life, in the hourly to the end consumer in the cities, modernizing their way of thinking, not to be more acceptance to the technology, something like that. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you. What about you, Johannes?
Connect the farmers to all the world with technology. So we believe that farmers, being a farmers must be a job that they also proud of. So the dream, if you're asking about what's your job, they will proud of to say I'm a farmers. That's the dream that we'll go to.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think I have two wildest dreams. So first, related to the technology itself. I mean, our technology based on the sensor, so we have the devices all across the country that sending the data in the real-time basis. And that's when we have that, then we can build an algorithm on top of the sensor. And at some point, we want to build some kind of intelligence, cognitive intelligence that can help farmers make a better decision on the businesses, but not on the individual farmers as well, but also on the sector itself. If we can build an AI that can tell the farmers in Sumatra to not cultivating lele, but cultivating tilapia, nila, because the market in that area and the demand in that area is better, and also we can connect the farmers directly with the buyers and the restaurants using this kind of algorithm, then we can easily make the whole business in the streamlined process. And that's one thing. And the second thing, on the ownership, I think one of the things that I'm concerned is about the inequality, that how the economy is built on top of it. And then it is because the capital is very centralized, and the role model that we have is, if you're building a business, a startups, and you're a startup founder, then you build a startup and you become a unicorn, and then you exit it and you become a billionaire. And then you become angel investors, building VCs and creating the next unicorns. And this is great, of course, it's building the ecosystem. But I think it doesn't really impact on what's people in the rural area. And I think for me personally, it's not really inspiring. But what if we can create a new path when we build a company, creating it to $1 billion company or $100 million company, going into the public, while along the way, we build cooperatives for the farmers that they can be structured. And when we go public, then the cooperatives can buy our shares. So our investors will be our customers, which also be the farmers. And I think it's very exciting when we work and the whole wealth creation will be divided evenly to all of the farmers in the rural area. And then it creates impact that can be more sustainable. So I think it will be wild if we can go in that way.
Okay, super. Yeah, super cool. Being part of the ecosystem, to be a part of actually the company itself. Super cool. Okay, last but not least, the last question would be, so what would you say to these, I don't know, maybe 100, 200 people in this room? So they can think more about, they can think more about the agriculture sector, and so more people care. Because in the end, when more people care about it, it'll help all of us. You, me, farmers. Because in the end, it's all about awareness, right? And taking an action to it. So what would you say, a positive statement that will sell?
Last statement, what is it?
Join 8 villages. I mean, if you want to learn more, this is one of the my concern also. Some of us think that we can help farmers from here, from Jakarta, without touching them in the ground. So what I mean by join 8 villages means that you can try to have the experience first through our company or other company like join a fishery.